Karat Sai Shinde.
Hi, I'm Karit Shabli Mure.
Today we have with us second engineer Neha Mehta ma'am. She has been a part of Marat 2006 batch, one of the first girls joining this institute. She has 8 plus years of sailing experience and more than 90 in total. Her experience has been a strong blend of core technical and commercial roles. 9 months ago, she decided to start her own company, acknowledging the work and contribution of seafarers, and this is something she'll talk about today. So, we all have a chance to interact with one of our alumni today.
Hello, ma'am. Uh, it's a great honor to meet you today and to have a podcast with you. So there are some few questions all of the BTech Marine Engineer or in general all the Maritime Institute cadets or aspiring student in this industry have and would be a very
You're a role model
for us. So it is very inspiring, or it would be a very guidance for us if you show some inspire us with your words, or just tell through us an experience in this conversation. And yeah, we'll continue.
First of all, thank you to both of you for giving your time and doing this podcast with me. I am absolutely thrilled being part of this. I have been a cadet like you many years ago. Now it's your time, but I am happy and I'll be very willing to share my experience, how my journey has been. I have been educated from the same institute where you are today, so Manet. So being here, first of all, renews a lot of my memories. And let's dive in. Let me see what you have as questions.
My first question is, what inspired you to join the maritime industry back then?
What inspired me, I think there are multiple factors to it. I have always liked to do something that is a little bit unique. I never wanted to feel part of the herd. And it's not that something I was pushing in me, that I think I feel it naturally. So pushing myself to blend into others fields that I could not have become better at would have been a bad choice, I believe. Merchant Navy gave a sense where it's a very confident field. It's a field that is unexplored, especially as a female. And what worst can happen is that you as a female might fail. But what were the benchmarks? So I wanted to go in and explore, and then also hopefully make my parents proud. And I think today I am blessed to say that I believe they have been happy with my career.
Ma'am, you said what were the benchmarks? You've truly set a benchmark for us.
Well, thank you. My honor that you say something like this.
Ma'am, another question I have is, what was like life at Manet during your cadetship, like when back then in 2002 to 2006 of your academic year, and what changes do you observe now? Like we have explored this whole institute today with us, and what changes do you observe now? What is the difference, what the transition you see today and in last years?
One of the most practical difference I would say is that Manet brought life to Loni. Manet brought everything here. So back in 2002, 2006 when I was here, there was Manet as a college that was there, and then we had few hostel buildings and nothing, absolutely nothing else. Railway tracks were there and we used to see train once in a while, but there was nothing else. These cadets and Manet has basically built the whole community around it. Now I see Loni and I see the campus. It's something you could be proud of as well, something you could be honored as well, that we were the first ones here, but also something very difficult to recognize. I have to have cadets with me to find the ways. So I think we brought the community here. Outside the Manet as well, but also inside. See, more and more cadets are thriving here. More and more females are here, and everybody is feeling confident and happy. It's a very inclusive environment now.
Exactly. We are true to be in many teams.
Yes.
Ma'am, what was your what were some of the biggest challenges you faced?
I would say the biggest challenges were before I started sailing. I think career in the shipping industry, in the maritime industry, has been a great blessing to me. Manet, the education of it has been a blessing to me. The challenge I faced, and it's not a bad challenge, I think it was something that made me very strong, was from my parents' side. And they were, I believe, have been trying to be very protective around it, where my father was not very willing that I go into merchant navy and do engineering and then go out on ships. This is the concept he had very hard time understanding. Why? And that convincing him, I was not really able to convince him for the 4 years I have been in the college. But when I started sailing, he came once on the ship, then he could see that I feel very confident in that space, in that engine room, and that is my life. I know the people around me. Then I think it calmed him down in a way. But I would also say my father became seasick on a ship that was standstill. So something we tease him also today. But I don't think it was a challenge. I think it was a challenge as a family. I was also not confident how the things will turn out. But the whole industry, the shipping industry, is very, very inclusive. You think, or we have the idea to think, if we don't know anything, it might not be right. But unknown doesn't mean it's a wrong thing. Unknown could also mean opportunities. Unknown could also mean joy, greener things on the other side. And this is what it has turned out for me.
Yeah, ma'am, that's a very inspiring answer, I would say, because it's like the way you frame your answers, the way you gracefully answering, we are moreover adoring you now. Like,
We are relating to it because we
are
have
very
also faced the same challenges.
things.
Because even if it's 2002 or it's 2025,
or 2004 when we joined, it was almost the same condition we faced.
our parents also have a little, I won't say they are mad at us for joining this,
but
but
they are insecure.
insecure and they care for us.
Yeah, they care for us, for you, and that is so true. They do. And as a parent, now today I'm a parent, right? And I also care for my children. But caring, we will know as a parent also, we will evolve when we know that the steps, the decision our children are taking, not necessarily are wrong. But as a parent, you have this protective nature. So as long as we make the right decisions and we make the decisions that are not bad, I think they are good.
This was all about the family background, the challenges you faced. But I want to ask you, what challenges do you face in this academy years as you are female, and in your career also, in your ship or while you're sailing? What was the gender difference? What you feel? Because this is a male-dominating industry, as we all say and as we all know. So, what challenge did you face in this academy and while sailing also? What was the difference? Like, was it equal or was it tough?
I think the academics part of it, I have never been the brightest student, and people who will be listening to this podcast, so I better not lie. I have been a very average student, and ED, engineering drawing, has been, I think I have been very good at it, but I flunked that exam all the way through. I have not been good at it. But I think that was my biggest challenge in academy. I just did not know how I keep failing that exam. But challenges outside the academics, I think everything has been a gift, not a challenge. You talked about gender imbalance, right? That works out in a very good advantage, because when you are going on a ship where your parents think, okay, there are 15, 13 male on the ship, what will you do? You will do exactly the same as what they will do, right? And when they know that a woman is coming or a girl is coming on board, they are very helpful in a way, to not scare you away. So it's a very nice platform to go on board. It's a very secure space, and people are caring, people are good at listening, people are good at supporting. So I think it creates a very learning environment. Learn, learn, learn. You have that space to go and talk to others, talk to your seniors, and then just when you feel confident about learning, then start giving back.
So they starts to mold themselves as they know the female cadets are on board. They starts to mold like that. We have to be protective. We have to be soft around them. We have to make them feel protective or comfortable, I would say.
When
Are
you-
they like that, or
When you go on road or in a market, do you feel that a shopkeeper is speaking differently with a male and a female?
no?
No.
No.
It's
But
exactly the same on ship.
But ma'am, I won't say condescending, but there are some stereotypes about like you said about a buyer or something. If a woman drives,
It is like
it is not good enough. It is always a woman who does not drive good, and it is always a man. Even if he drives rash, it's okay. It's just a day.
Yeah.
But like, did it happen to you anytime on ship?
No. No. I think everybody I have sailed with, I have worked with, they have been very, very good and very supportive to me. They have been very helpful. I think the key is to that be adaptive and be receptive. You should have the personality to be able to learn. If you say you come from a very reputed institute, you have the highest degree, you have the highest marks, and you will read everything from the manual, that doesn't help. You need to have those teachers along the way, and people are very ready and very motivated to support others. We should be open enough to go out and find our mentors.
Ma'am, are there any memorable moments that you'll never forget?
from Manit. I would ask that.
From Manit?
From Manit.
Yes, I think I felt privileged. Now I look back in my years in Manit, I find them fun memories. Maybe there has been times where I might have felt frustrated, but I think that was a wrong understanding of the situation. We were children at that time, and everybody is allowed to have fun, and we had it too. So don't take it personally. I think now when I look back, I think that those were the best years. We had a lot of fun. So good place, and it has been an institute where you could openly talk to others. There are no sections and silos were made for this is for girls and this is for boys. Everybody was equal, and we were treated that way.
Ma'am, you said there are no sections. Even we are the only girls
Girls
here
in our-
for BTech first year, and we have felt that. Like when I entered, I was the only girl, and she entered after that. I, for once, did not feel that I do not belong here. I always felt that the environment here is really welcoming, and I belong here, and I can do whatever I want to, and whatever I've decided.
Yes.
What my parents were skeptical of did not really.
It's surely equal here for everyone, however I felt. But there are some people who we can't change the mindset, and there are some very great mindset people who are like, oh, you're a girl, you're joining this, nice. So there are equal people who treat you as equal, but not everyone, I would say. The changes, the revolution is still going on day by day, and people are still adapting that, okay, girl cadets are there with us, we have to behave, and they are still looking forward to get comfortable. They are not even still comfortable with us, but faculties and everyone are so good. They are like,
Very helpful.
they're very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say that there are people who doesn't get used to the fact that you are here, does it matter? Does their opinion matter to you?
No, not
No.
really.
Then those people should not be in your head, right? People saying good things and people saying bad things, or people not supporting, it is their capability. we have to understand if that person is capable of only that thing, you can only give what you have, right? So they can only give what they have. It's you both, I feel, and I have been with you since the morning. I feel that you are very confident first years, and I was not in that space, and I think I turned out to be just fine. So I'm already inspired and a fan of both of you. So I'm sure you'll do great things. And I can also feel from this morning that you feel that you belong here. Both of you have this notion, right, that you belong here. So it doesn't matter what the world says, you feel good.
Yes.
This makes our day, ma'am.
Yeah.
Other than sailing, now you're not sailing, you're in non-marine things now. So what are your future goals other than sailing? Now what are you looking forward for your future, or your goals you're trying to achieve?
Well, I have started my company. So my goals are that my husband should feed me for next many years. He has been doing it for some time. So that's pretty much it. He should work hard, so I will work on my developments. But my goals are, so I'm a ex-seafarer, right? So I feel very strongly connected to the maritime industry. I have been a little bit in and out. I have been into the water sector, environment sector, but always close to the maritime. And now last year I decided to come back to the maritime industry and then go back and look into the challenges what I personally faced. And if those challenges still exist, and as per the validation, the surveys and the feedback we have received, those challenges are still there in the industry and in the world today, we need to address them. They should not become like, okay, it has always been the case, let's just forget about it. We can solve them. We have the capabilities of solving them. We have the tools to solve them. We are so advanced today. We have all kinds of technologies today. So let's solve those small gaps what we have in the industry. Shipping is the industry that contributes everything. You cannot name any industry that is not dependent on the shipping industry. So if we can change or fill the gaps of the shipping industry, we in ourselves, I think, will feel that we have solved the purpose of what we are trying to achieve.
Ma'am, you mentioned your company that you launched yesterday, Next Mariner. Can you tell us more about that?
So Next Marina is my passion, but Next Marina is also it's an engagement platform. Engagement platform to actually make the industry accessible and rewarding to all in a zest. So I strongly believe that seafarers have their service, their contribution in the industry have to be recognized and respected every step of the way. And seafarers is, again, people have already started their careers. So why I'm here in Manet? Because I think that seafarer is a stage you achieve. Before that, there are students, and can we do something already there in that space? Can we nurture our aspiring seafarers? Can we support them in a way? So at Next Marina, we have industry experts, we have mentors on the platform that are ex-seafarers or that have great insights into the shipping and the maritime industry. And they are very carefully selected, so they have very good attitudes. They have been very good at perceiving these situations. Those people are highly motivated to contribute back, guiding the next generations that are coming forward, the students, the early stage seafarers. So I think the students like yourself should use those chances, get connected with these mentors, and then see, mentors should not be only tested in the times of challenges. I think they should be there as your friend, as your go-to person, as your sparring partner, right? In many situations. And that is something I would like to test, how easy it is for us as a human being to be able to reach to someone and discuss something that probably just is sitting on 1% of our head, right? Not filling more. That's one aspect of Next Marina. And the other aspect is that we have created a program called Learn and Earn. And Learn and Earn is a fun tool where you are given access to small articles, small short topics, like for example, countries of flag or marine electrical systems or emergency. You read about those, whatever interests you, pick that topic and read about it. You will be given very few slides about it, and then you have some quiz. Once you solve the quiz, you get some points. So it's like a short motivation factor as well, but we also would like to see your engagement. Did you gain anything from that kind of knowledge? So when you are devoting your time, instead of spending the time on social media or just taking 5 minutes of your social media time into this tool, we would like to see your engagement, your motivation. Overall, motivation for us is to see that people should have the platform to understand maritime industry better at a very early stage, and then be able to also create that awareness around each other. So engagement motivation platform.
Okay.
And I hope you will use it, and I also hope the viewers will sign up and start using the tool.
Definitely, ma'am.
Ma'am, now we'll go for a last question for today's podcast is, what message would you like to give to the young seafarers or to the young cadets who are aspiring for maritime industry, who are aspiring for coming here? What is the advice would you give them? How is this industry?
Just explore the industry. It's the best industry you can find anywhere. And I'm the example, and I think every ex-seafarer you will see, they will all say shipping industry has been the best. They had the best days sailing. They had the best days in the industry. So I would say, don't fear, don't hesitate. Reach out. Doesn't have to be through Next Marina. Reach out to your near and dear ones, people who know about the industry. Talk to them. There's nothing to be fearful about. It's a fun industry. Join, explore, and then explore the world.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.